So hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. It's been a long time since I did just a sit down video chatting about nothing really. Well, today's video isn't really chatting about nothing, but you know what I mean. Over the last 2 years things have been absolutely berserk, I know. But in the last year-ish, restrictions and stuff have started calming down a bit in Ireland and I've been able to start getting tattooed again, which is, I don't know if you've noticed, but it's something I quite enjoy. I did a tattoo video like 3 or 4 years ago, I think. I had like substantially less tattoos at the time. I get asked questions about them all the fucking time. And if I was to just constantly, I don't know, explain through comments and stuff, I'd be there forever. So I thought it would be fun. I love watching these kind of videos, these sit down and talk videos about tattoos and the whole thing surrounding it. So what I'm going to do, because it has been so long since the last one, is I'm just going to do it again basically, but with the new additions. I'll try and include pain ratings, but like everyone's pain threshold is different, everybody's experience is different. And it's been a while since I got some of them, so I'm not going to lie, I've forgotten. Except for the ribs. They were a bitch. And yes, I have changed my hair yet again. Listen, I got nothing. I don't know. I do that a lot. I also got a comment recently about that and it made me laugh. Someone was like, how the fuck do you change your hair so much? It's bleached and most of what I put in over it is just semi or demi-permanent colours that I can strip back if I get bored and want to go back to blonde. For now, we're dealing with this and it's fun. I also shaved the sides back in, which is... feels like me. Feels good to feel like myself again. After 2 years of feeling like a cave-dwelling gremlin. So yes, this video is going to surround tattoos and all that kind of stuff. Before I start it, as I said in the last tattoo video I did, listen, these kind of things are super personal. It differs from person to person. If you don't like tattoos or stuff like that, then I'm not really sure why you're here, but just be respectful, please. Before I get started, I just want to remind you guys I have a Patreon where I upload 2 videos a day. I do reactions to a fuck ton. That is a relevant unit measurement. I do a bunch of shows over there. At the moment we're working our way through season 2 of The Witcher, Doctor Who. I'm nearing the end of the 100, which saddens me because I love that show. I recently started Jessica Jones. I'm doing the X-Files, Buffy, Once Upon a Time. There's movies and stuff over there too. The link with all like the stuff is down below if you guys want to check that out. That's kind of what I've been doing an awful lot during the last 2 years, and particularly during lockdown and stuff like that. So like I said, I can't remember the chronological order of what I got them. The only thing I can remember is my first tattoo, but we're not starting with that one. Let's see if I remember to mention that when I get to that one. So I'll try and start with some of the newer ones that I've gotten, which are the most obvious. I have got my hands done and I got my little forget-me-nots. Yeah, we'll start with the hands. You're going to see a theme pop up quite a lot. Up near my knuckles about a year ago, I got 2 sentences. I got "You changed me" and I got "Non Timbo Mala." "Non Timbo Mala" is the sentence that is on the colt from Supernatural and is also a line from a prayer, but I got it more for the supernatural reason because I'm a little bit of a supernatural freak. And then on my other hand, I got "You changed me," which is a line from my favourite speech I have seen in any TV show. It's in episode 18 of season 15. It's a speech that Cass gives, and it is the most divine scene. I don't want to give any spoilers in case people haven't seen it yet. It broke my little dead heart into ash. And Castiel is a character that I have been fixated on since I was like 14 or 15. So I love film and TV, I love media, I love escapism, I love the world that shows, movies, books, whatever. I love the world that they create that you can just go away to and get lost in when things get too much. So you're going to see a common theme that a lot of my tattoos are related to shows or like fandom stuff. But this is one of my favourites because I adore Cass and I think he's the most deliciously written character. So I got those 2 sentences done, which, let me tell you, if you're getting your knuckles done, don't get them both done in the same day because you're going to have both of your hands wrapped up. You're going to have to walk home and look like you have just been in a boxing match with bloodied knuckles. I did get some weird looks. So on my left hand, I also got a small little bee. 2 reasons. It's a Castiel reference. If you get it, then you get it. If you don't, that's okay. And also, one of my favourite songs is a song called Honeybee by The Head and the Heart. On my other hand, more recently, I got a little cross. Something I don't really discuss a whole lot on this channel is religion, because I think that's quite a personal experience. But I am religious, have been. I've been on quite a journey with that kind of stuff. I was raised in Ireland in the 90s. Go figure. This has been one of the most bitch-ass places to heal. That part of your hand, it just, your tops rub against it, other people rub against it. It's constantly healing and then cracking and hurting and ouching. But yeah, both of those, on a pain scale, to me, I didn't find the hands too painful. I found them quite fine. I've been told that I'm a bit unhinged in the head for thinking that, but I would say a 5 out of 10, if even. Worst part is by far the healing. Your hands are a very difficult place to heal. Moving down then, we'll go with my right arm first. Or will we go with my left? We'll go with the right. I got a small little kind of chain bracelet style tattoo with all different symbols from Supernatural. It's going to be impossible for me to show these to the camera because every time I do it's going to start to focus and unfocus, so I'll just insert pictures. So on the front, nearly on my hand, is the mark of Cain. Then moving to the side of that, we have a Sam Winchester and Dean Winchester little tag. On the back of my wrist, I have the anti-possession tattoo. I got the little charm from the Samulet necklace, which is the necklace that Dean wears in the earlier seasons of the show. And then I got a small little feather. Again, Supernatural is something that has been huge in my life since I was like 14 or 15. There's a whole backstory. That's how I first discovered Jeffrey Dean Morgan, funnily enough. I know this is a Walking Dead channel and everything I do on here is Walking Dead related, but I first discovered him as John Winchester. Seeing him as Negan, and then I got to meet him a couple times, but the first time it was just so emotional because I remember being like 14 years old, begging my parents to let me go to England by myself so I could go to a Supernatural convention just to meet him and Misha. So finally getting to meet I still haven't met Misha, but my god, that's on my list. Finally getting to meet Jeffrey was just, it was nuts. Even though I do have strong feelings on John Winchester, Jeffrey's a person he's a super cool dude, he's super sweet, and yeah, it was just, that was awesome. Moving up then, I got this little, aren't I so great at showing them? Look at this, can you see it guys? Can you see it when I hide it behind my mic? Moving up a little bit, I got this spooky little man. Halloween is my favourite time of year, I just love it. October as a month is just pinnacle of the year for me. Did you hear that? My voice got all spooky just to go with the theme. My family, we've never really been that big into Halloween. We've never been big Halloween people, even though I adore Halloween. So a few years ago, I wore my mother down and I was like, dude, we gotta decorate. You gotta get into the Halloween spooky season. So she decided Halloween day was a good day to go and try and find a pumpkin. She had her heart set on it. We couldn't find a pumpkin because, hello, it was Halloween day. So instead, we went to Woody's, which is like an Irish shop that sells homeware and stuff. And they were selling off a bunch of Halloween items, like little decorations and stuff. So she decided to buy this little pumpkin figure that she just fell in love with, and it was him. He was a little pumpkin boy with a hat, and I loved him so much that I decided to draw him and get him tattooed. To the left of this guy we have the sentence "Jump and Touch the Sky." That is a 30 Seconds to Mars reference, one of my favourite bands of all time. Back of my hand I also have the sentence "Live Your Dreams," which is also a 30 Seconds to Mars tattoo. I've met them a few times throughout the years, and I got Jared to write this sentence because it's a saying that is just really like, it's a thing, got to do with the band. And I got that tattooed, and that is the first of many signatures you guys are going to see in this video. This one is also a signature. This is Jeffrey Dean Morgan's signature. I got that at a convention, and it is the first and only tattoo that I got at a convention, and I would never do it again. Simply because it is just so odd being tattooed in public where there's people walking around and everything's like noise and there's just so much going on. And then you got to get up off the tattoo and walk around the convention, and it's a lot. I wouldn't do it again. Glad I did it, wouldn't do it again. But yeah, Jeffrey wrote this for me and I got it tattooed like minutes after he wrote it. It was such a special weekend. Conventions are like one of my favourite things to do. Haven't been to one in a very long time, but I miss it. I feel like I have become an absolute hermit because I have. But that's one of my favourite convention memories, was getting to talk to Jeffrey just about everything and anything. And again, he is the sweetest, tallest tree. This one is also an autograph of sorts. Charlie Adler drew this at, I want to say it was like 2018. Could have been 2017. I don't know. At a convention I went to, I queued up to meet Charlie and he drew this little guy. And then I was like, wouldn't it be funny if someone got that tattooed? Charlie Adler worked on the Walking Dead comics, if you don't know. This funky little dude is a red handprint. It's kind of hard to show because of like where it is on my arm. But this video is going to be so messy. It's going to be a mixture of like pictures and then me just going, look at my arm. I am nothing if not inconsistent. This is also a Castiel reference from Supernatural. I'm the one who gripped you tight and raised you from perdition. If you don't understand that reference, it's going to sound and look really, really weird. This one then is one of my most recent ones, and I just, oh my god, I'm obsessed. I think I'll insert a picture of this because it's going to be too hard to show. Taylor Swift is one of my favourite musical artists ever of all time. I adore her. She's kind of like that odd big sister figure that I never really had. I got into her when 1989 was released and I went to see her live for the first time on the 1989 tour. I can't overestimate how important that album was to me. Or is it undersell? I don't know. Very important album. Shit time in my life. That album inspired me to do a whole lot of good though. And then I saw her on the Reputation tour, which was awesome. And then obviously during the last 2 years, she dropped Folklore and Evermore, which were just such beautiful places of comfort to hide in at a time when everything else seemed uncertain. So she's somebody whose music has been constantly there for me, and somewhere that I run back to very frequently. But one of my favourite songs she has ever released is a song called Mirror Ball. I don't know, it's one that just jumped out as soon as I listened to the album for the first time. I was like, oh my god, that. I can relate to the lyrics a lot, I can relate to what she's saying, to the kind of person that she's portraying or putting forward in it. And the line, "I never been a natural, all I do is try," stuck to me like nuts. So I decided to get a little mirror ball tattooed with the lyrics "try." Moving up then, I think we're entering into like mostly Walking Dead territory. This is where I started getting very heavily tattooed years ago. I started working on a Walking Dead half sleeve, and then I got distracted and abandoned it. So we have the "Don't Open Dead Inside" tattoo, which I very frequently refer to as the "Don't Dead Open Inside." And every time I do, I get people correcting me. And I'm like, if I have it tattooed, don't you think there's a little chance that I know and I'm just being sarcastic? I'm just saying. Above that is my watercolour Cherokee Rose. I loved the story that was portrayed in the show, and that moment with Daryl and Carl. I think it's a time that we really saw Daryl as a character shine through, and that changed my perspective. My perspective on him. Not being able to talk when talking for a living is your what? Not being able to form a cohesive sentence when speaking for a living is literally your job is quite annoying. In my defence, it is 9:15 in the morning, so. Ain't that a way to show off a tattoo? Ha! The back of my arm I have the word "little ass kicker" in the exact font that was written on Judith's little box when she was a little tiny baby in the prison. I got it done in green because green's one of my favourite colours. Above that I have a little Abraham sticker style tattoo. I have a matching Eugene sticker style tattoo. And I have a zombie hand with a little engagement ring that says "Until One Is." That speech that Herschel gave is one of my favourite speeches in TV history. No man is good enough for your little girl until one is. Resonated and stuck. And really did. It's something that does play on my mind and has done throughout the years. But also the idea that love, can prevail even through a goddamn motherfucking zombie apocalypse. It gives hope. And I love Glenn and Maggie are one of my favourite couples ever. So I decided to get that. Oh shit, I forgot about them. I have the little badge that was on Rick's hat. I have JSS, Just Survive Somehow. And I have the little green balloons that Glenn let off to let Maggie know that he was A-okay and still kicking. And we're coming up and across, right? So I have my forget-me-nots right there. They're one of my favourite type of flowers. I think they're beautiful both in symbolism and imagery. I just love them. And I wanted something that was just pretty and symmetrical because a lot of my tattoos are just scattered, messy, all over the place, which is kind of how I am too. But I thought, hey, I want to get something nice and pretty to match. I think what set that off is I got these and I was like, wow, they match. My hands look so symmetrical. Ain't that just magic? So then I thought I'd do the same on my chest. Years of getting tattooed and I finally discovered the art of symmetry. Up there I got the lyrics "Stay Made of Lightning." It's a One Direction song. I was the biggest One Direction stan back in the day and I still am. I flew to London by myself to meet them. I bought a ticket. It was for... I can't remember who it was through. I think it was through like W.H. Smith or something. But they announced on a Monday that they were doing a super secret book signing in London on the Wednesday. And it was limited to like 100 tickets. So I just simply had an absolute meltdown in the kitchen and panic clicked "buy now." Then had to go and explain to my parents, hey, I'm going to meet One Direction on Wednesday in London. I'm pretty sure at the time I had just turned 18. I'd never been outside of my city by myself. I had never travelled alone. Everybody told me, you're not able, you can't do that, like it's too much for you. My mom was like, yeah, I think it's something you gotta do. It's something you gotta do. One, it'll be good for you. And two, like you'll learn a lot about yourself. And three, I don't want to be the one to tell you that you can't go because I know how much you love them. So I did it. It scared the shit out of me. I cried in the airport twice. I sat next to a very kind man on the plane who talked to me through takeoff and landing. I'm a very nervous flyer. But the song "Girl Almighty" is one of my favourite One Direction songs, which is why I got that lyric specifically. There's another One Direction tattoo mixed in here somewhere. Skipping over then to the other arm, I have a little candy style love heart with the word "me." "Me," the song, is one of my favourite Taylor Swift songs. She duetted with Brendan Urie, who's one of my favourite singers ever. So I had to get that little thing because I love it. I know a lot of people hate it, but I love that song and that's the hill I'm going to die on. Just beside that is my Panic at the Disco tattoo. I think I'll include pictures because that's too hard to try and show you. Yeah. Moving down from this, I have this little ugly robot man who I adore. I get so many questions about this. People ask like, did your kid draw that? I don't have a kid. I do have 2 goldfish and a dog, if that counts. I don't think any of them can draw. But this is actually a Linkin Park tattoo. My mother's favourite band since the absolute raw beginning has been Linkin Park. She went to like their first ever show they did over here. She's been a member of the LPU, the Underground, which is like the online fan club, since it launched. And she just raised me on their music. And she got me to meet them, I want to say like 2008-ish. They played the RDS in Dublin. If you guys are aware, Mike Shinoda is an artist. He draws these little robot dudes. But Chester decided to poke fun and draw this little ugly guy making fun of them. And I just thought it was so funny. So I was like, I'll get that tattooed. And I love it. It's very strange having something like this, especially now that Chester has passed. Having something like this and having people constantly like borderline take the piss on it and like be like, what the fuck is that? Like, and knowing this is one of my more sentimental ones. So it's just funny watching people try to guess what it is when I'm like, Chester Bennington actually drew that. Believe it or not. Moving down, I got another 30 Seconds to Mars tattoo. I think it's their most recent symbol. They might have changed it again, but when I got it, it was their most recent symbol. Back of my arm then, I have the lyrics to My Blood by 21 Pilots. It's my favourite 21 Pilots song. My family mean the absolute world to me, always have. I have a very small family, so I got each family member to write out a lyric of the song, which just happened to work out perfectly because I wanted to get a verse with 4 lines and I only have 4 real immediate family members. So I went to them and I was like, I need you to write a line. This is what you need to write. None of them even questioned me. Not even my nana. She was just like, okay, that makes sense. And then I got them compiled into a tattoo, which I love. Moving down then, I have my Freddie Mercury tattoo. He's one of my favourite people that has ever lived. I think he was just an incredible force, and people who are unapologetically themselves fascinate me. And I tend to kind of gravitate towards those kind of people and draw inspiration. And the song Living on My Own is my favourite Freddie Mercury song of all time. So I got the little silhouette of him doing a little back bend and up in the clouds in a dream world. The line goes, sometimes I feel nobody gives me no warning. Find my head is always up in the clouds in a dream world. And I'm someone who I very much do kind of live in my own head. I live doing my own thing. It's not that I can be out of touch. It's just that I kind of hide in the little worlds I've created. My little safe spaces. Ow. So that line struck a chord and I was like, I must have it on me. On the inside of my elbow, which is a very awkward place to see or to show, I have the words "Okay friend" and a tiny little kitchen sink plug. Again, 21 Pilots. I love the song Kitchen Sink. It's one of my favourite songs, and I love the... Who keeps ringing me? Leave me alone! I love the reasoning that Tyler gave behind that song. So I was like, again, I need it on me. My inner bicep, then I have the word Polaroids, which is again 21 Pilots reference if you know the song. It's pretty self-explanatory. Moving down, I got my little Norman Reedus autograph, which kind of matches my Jeffrey one, now that I look at them. Nice. Underneath that, I have the words Life Has a Hopeful Undertone with the 21 Pilots old logo, which was their most recent one when I got it. Migraine is another favourite song of mine, so. Above that, I have... This tattoo is from The Hobbit. It's the inscribings or the engravings on Keely's small little rune stone that he carries with him everywhere. And basically the explanation that he gives behind it is it's almost like a promise to always return home. And I heard that and just went to mush and was like, I want it. Above that then I have the little number 58. I used to work in retail. I did like 4 years working in a shop downtown with a very small workforce. There was like 4 of us in total. You know, new people rotated in and out every now and again, but it was a very small, tight-knit shop. I learned so much about myself there, and they helped me grow up. I started working there when I was like 18 or 19, and by the time I left, I was like 23-ish. Pretty formative years. So I went in there such a meek, quiet little bitch, and I came out of there an absolute nuts little psychopath who wasn't afraid of anything or anyone. Retail will do that to you. But we closed down a few years ago, and it was super emotional. And I just, as much as I hated it, I also loved it, the shop. So I decided to get the unit number of the shop tattooed to, I don't know, just have with me. And I told my bosses this on like our last day that we were open, like when we were getting ready to close forever. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to get the unit of the shop tattooed. And everyone just kind of looked at each other and they were like, we could get it matching. So myself, my 2 bosses and my co-worker all got the little number 58 somewhere on them. Here then I have my little message in a bottle with Starry Night in the background. One of my favourite paintings ever is Starry Night. Wow, geez, that why I have it tattooed? But the message in a bottle is like a little, it's like a little nod to the song Holding On To You. There's a line in the song that goes, I'm open a moment, but close when you show it, and before you know it, I'm lost at sea. Again, one of my favourite 21 Pilots songs. I was really feeling 21 Pilots when I did this arm, let's just say that. So I loved the song so much, I decided to create a tattoo around it that would be a standalone piece of art rather than just like, you know, the band symbol or whatever. So I drew this and I loved it, so I was like, let's get it tattooed. Above that is one that I get comments on probably the most in videos, is my little Linkin Park tattoo. This is their original logo. This is the logo I remember my mom having as a sticker on her very first car when I was like 4. So I really was raised on their music. So I just had to get it. Above that is the word strong, which is a reference to a One Direction song. One of my favourite One Direction songs. Well, no shit, Sherlock. It's hardly one of your least favourites if you have it tattooed. This is a very awkward place to show. I don't think I can. I'm throwing all kinds of shapes in this video. I hope you guys appreciate this. I'll just insert pictures because I can't. On the front of my wrist, I suppose you would call it, I have the little Harry Potter glasses. I actually got that on the same day that I got the Lord of the Rings one on the back of my wrist. I got them both on the same day. I got this when I was like 18. I was raised on the books and the movies, and I was just really feeling Harry Potter at that particular time. Below that I have a little spaceship with the words whatever happens. That is one of my favourite songs ever. And when I was younger, my dad brought me to a Michael Jackson exhibition, so it was just after he died, all of his stuff was on like display. And it was, I think that was one of my first times ever being in London. My dad brought me, and they had all of like these huge musical like artifacts. And I remember they had this little spaceship from the music video for Leave Me Alone. And it was just sitting there. And I was like, can I touch it? And my dad was like, no, we'll get thrown out. Wait till the end. So if we get thrown out, it doesn't matter. So we did wait till the end. I did touch it and we didn't get thrown out. But that's one of my favourite trips and one of my favourite memories I have. I love my dad. He's a bit of an idiot. We don't always see eye to eye. But he's a big softie behind it all. And that is one of my favourite memories that I have with him. So I was like, I'll get that. Is that everything on there? I think so. So I think now my arms are done. Now we're moving to other territories that you guys don't usually see. On my belly / hip, I have a tiny little love heart with the word mom. My mom is probably one of my best friends in the whole world, if not my absolute best friend in the whole world. She supports me on whatever batshit crazy journey I decide I just must go on. Whether it's, mother, I need to go meet One Direction in 2 days, and she's like, okay. Or it's, I have to go to this convention. Again, she's like, okay. Although she started coming with me to conventions. For like 4 years straight, she went with me to Walking Dead related conventions. And would stand in lines with me all day long and follow me around everywhere. She is one of the most supportive people I could have ever wished for to have as a mother. So I got her to write out the word ma'am in her handwriting, and I got it tattooed. So technically I have her handwriting tattooed on me twice. And she always bitches at me because she doesn't like the ma'am tattoo. She's always like, it's so small and tiny, like what the fuck? And I'm like, it is the thought that counts. Going up my ribs. Why did I say it like that? Going up my ribs, then I have the line, I am not afraid to keep on living. It is a My Chemical Romance lyric, and they have been also one of those huge, big, pivotal bands to me throughout my life, throughout my years. I discovered them in my angsty teen years like everybody else, but it stayed with me, and a lot of their songs really were backdrops to big moments and stuff, and Famous Last Words is one of my favourite songs of all time, still to this day. So I got that line going up my side. Fuck! Forgot one! I have the word unconditionally tattooed on my back, which is my second and final matching tattoo. I got that with my mom. It's from the song Bollocks. It's from the song Unconditionally by Katy Perry. I've never really listened to Katy Perry all that much, I'm not gonna lie. But that one song, it's like me and my mother's song. You know when you have a song that's just your song? That's ours. So we both got the word unconditionally, and I want to say we got that on my 21st birthday, I think. It was a birthday, I can't remember which one. And then we're moving down to my most recent one. Yes. My most recent one, which is my tiny little tombstone Castiel. Yeah. Oh yeah, you thought we were done with Supernatural? Bitch, you thought wrong. Again, I cannot state enough how much I love Cass as a character. I just can't. The Walking Dead is my favourite show ever. You guys have followed me on this Walking Dead journey I've been doing for like 4 or 5 years now at this point. But Cass is my favourite character of all time. I am just so Cass obsessed. I'm not even sorry. Tombstone is one of my favourite Supernatural episodes ever. So I decided to get the outline of Cass with his little cowboy hat on and the I'm your Huckleberry. And then the line, I'm your Huckleberry, underneath it, because every time I watch that episode, that one line just cracks me up. Shifting over then to my other leg, we have the last 2 tattoos. I have a clock with the time that my brother was born and his name underneath it. These were actually 2 separate pieces that I got on 2 separate days. I started off with getting just his name, and then I was like, it's just floating in space and time there. I need to connect it to something. So I got this huge warped clock with the time that he was born, because that's the time I became a big sister. And I always embarrass him and say it to him when he's feeling like a proper little man, because he's nearing on 18 now. He's going to be 18 this year. But he's still my baby brother. I held him the day he was born. That's the moment everything changed for me for the better. He does wreck my head sometimes, and I do let him know, but I absolutely adore him, and he's somebody I just couldn't be without. And then on the back of that leg, I have my other My Chemical Romance tattoo. Welcome to Black Parade. Incredible album. I love the imagery. I love the little marching man in a band. So I got the little dude tattooed, and I love him. And he's pretty old now at this point, and he has held up very well. And I think that's all the reasonings. I tried to go super fast because this video could easily be an hour long, and I don't want it to be that long for you guys. Well, I knew it was bound to happen. This is editing me popping in. I forgot to talk about my first ever tattoo. For fuck's sake, arguably probably one of the most important, or at least when it comes to tattoo videos, the first is probably one of the most important. The first tattoo I got was the Triad, which was 30 Seconds to Mars symbol back in the day. Pain level was non-existent. It was like a 2 out of 10, if even. So that's all the tattoos that I currently have. I do have plans for more, without a doubt. Now we get on to pain rating. The one probably going up my side was the worst. One of the worst, because I could just feel it vibrating throughout me. I could feel it on parts of my body that I shouldn't have been feeling it on, and I was like, I'm being rattled from the inside here. And not in a funky way. I know that ribs are supposed to hurt quite a lot, but I only got like the back end of the sentence sneaking up onto my ribs, and still that bitch was painful. This one was probably the most painful. I need to get it, like you can see here, like I need to get it touched up, I need to add depth and a bit of dimension to it, because that was like the first sitting. Couldn't do it. I was like, nah, it's fine. I love it. Like it's kind of like not perfect, but I'm like, you know what? That's okay. Me neither. I ain't never been perfect. My tattoos don't have to be either. I just couldn't sit through getting that done again. Are you ringing me again, lads? I keep getting calls from unknown numbers, and it's really getting on my fucking nerves. I'm gonna answer that phone someday, and give them a goddamn piece of my mind. So that's my most recent tattoos and the pain. When it comes to aftercare and stuff, I think everybody heals differently. Everyone chooses to do it differently. I have alternated. I tend to, when I first get a tattoo, I keep it wrapped for the first few hours, then I wash it and make sure it's clean and go to bed. When I get up the following morning, I usually apply a very, very thin layer of Bepanthen. I've heard people be totally against that and totally for it. I've used it on almost all of mine, and they've all healed quite nicely and quite easily, with the exception of this one. Then again, the whole reason I got this tattoo is because I had a multitude of necklaces and bracelets that had little crosses on them, and they all broke, which kind of spooked me a little bit, and I was like, what's with me and crosses, But that was one of the hardest to heal. Then again, if you're getting something delicate like scripture, something very thin lines, borderline single needle, it's going to heal faster and easier than if you get solid black work done somewhere. That's a lot harder to heal. There's a lot of pigment, a lot of ink in there. Your skin's going to be pretty fucking angry. I get asked a lot too, do coloured tattoos heal differently to regular? I've had no experience with that. All of mine have pretty much healed the exact same way, quite nicely. It just, you got to keep them clean, and I keep them moisturised. I know a lot of people don't like that and they like to dry heal. I've done that with some tattoos. It just means the healing process will be a bit longer. I get asked a lot as well what kind of advice I'd give to someone who hasn't gotten any tattoos but is planning to get one. All I would say is know what you want, go prepared, don't go on an empty tummy, make sure you eat something and you're feeling okay. And it's okay to be nervous. I was shitting bricks, and I still shit bricks when I go in to get tattooed. There's two or three shops in Limerick that I really like and that I trust, and I will just go to on the drop of a hat and be like, hey, I want to get this, and I just trust them. Completely trust them. If they want to change up the art, if they want to, do whatever, put their spin on it, I'm like, cool. Because that's the kind of person I am when it comes to tattoos. I know some people are super, like, it has to be this way or nothing else. I would say don't settle. So I would say if you know what you want, then that's what you should get. But at the same time, listen to your artist. They know what they're doing. They know what they're talking about. If they say that something isn't going to work, or it's not going to look good, or they think you should do it differently, just keep an open mind. I get asked a lot, what are they going to look like when you're older? How are they going to, age with you? And to this I say two things. One, very sweet that you concern yourself about my future, but it's really none of your concern, so please mind your business. And two, they're going to age like the rest of me. They're going to become saggy and wrinkly if I'm lucky enough to live to be old. If I make it, to being an old, wrinkly, saggy lady, I'm going to be pretty happy with my life choices. But I've known for a very long time I want to be littered, and I love it. I love being able to look down at my hands and see memories, see where I was when I got it, who I was with when I got it, me planning getting it, the show it's from, or the song it's from. I remember being really, really young and looking at Biffy Clyro, and I used to have this picture, because I used to get Kerrang magazine like religiously, and I used to have this picture of Simon Neil, the lead singer of Biffy Clyro, and he was on stage and he had his guitar up, you know the way he plays his guitar, it's always super high up. But his arms and his chest, he was littered in tattoos. And same with Chester Bennington. So I remember, because I was raised on that kind of music, I remember looking at them as a kid and being like, they are so beautiful. Not like in like a weird like way, but just looking at them visually like, wow. And I kind of knew like, oh my God. And I remember telling my mother, I'm going to be like that someday. And now she follows me around the place and she's like, you got a bunch of blank spaces you got to fill in. It looks weird. You need to fill these spaces, or otherwise it's not going to flow. And I'm like, oh mother, you get me. So yeah, I think that's everything. Trying to take photos of these is going to be an absolute bitch. Trying to get proper pictures of them up close. But I just thought I would sit down and do this kind of video because, like I said, I love watching videos like this. And I get asked an awful lot about mine, and I get asked an awful lot about doing updated videos on stuff like this. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you're still watching, thank you for sticking with me and listening to me ramble. It's very early in the morning and my brain ain't exactly connecting all the dots, so I hope this video made sense in some way. And if it's all over the place, then that's okay. Nothing I do ever has order anyway. I do have plans for more, and I have plans to get some Walking Dead ones. I'm gonna wait for the next few episodes to air. Pick out what I like from them once I see them, and get something from them. With it being the last season of The Walking Dead and all, I want to pick something nice and something special. So yeah, that's it for this video, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Walking Dead reactions will be starting up, I can't remember the air date. I think it's the 20th of February, I want to say. Not sure though. But yeah, Walking Dead reactions will be starting up back soon. The more extended cut of each reaction will be going up over on Patreon. The link to my Twitter and my Instagram is down below if you guys want to chat or whatever. I will be doing a question and answer video as well coming up soon because I haven't done one of them in years and I used to love doing them. So I'm going to be posting probably to my Twitter and to my community tab on YouTube within the next week or two, just as a place for you to leave your questions underneath. So keep an eye out for that. Thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you all soon.